Jai Hind everyone. So I'm back with another hot topic, that is the South China Sea issue, and I'll explain this issue in a very crisp and simple points so that everyone will be able to understand and grasp the points and will be able to be remember these points whenever they need to speak in front of someone or whenever ask questions about these topics. So I'll start basically from the basic points. As of the location of the South China Sea, it lies in the Western Pacific Ocean, and it is in the south of China, so it is known as the South China Sea. And talking about the strategic importance of South China Sea, as it is a very important maritime trade route, as one third of the global trade passes through this route, and there are various important choke points. Talking like it is in near Indonesia, there is a point called. Uh, it has an important trade route known as the Strait of Malacca, which is very important for the shipping routes. And also talking about the China's 80% of the total energy passes through these routes, and also 40% of the total imports of China passes through South China Sea. And this has a very China has a very strategic importance in the South China Sea. And also seeing this importance of the South China Sea, there are various territorial disputes between multiple countries. Talking like China, Taiwan, Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, and also Vietnam. But disputes there are disputes on the islands also. The islands of Philippines claims the island of Spratly, Paracel, and also a Scarborough Shoal, which is near Philippines and in the South China Sea. But China claims that it has a 9 dash line in the South China Sea, which covers almost 90% of the South China Sea, and which creates the problem for the other countries to claim their exclusive economic zone also, and some other islands in the South China Sea. So these claims are overlapping between multiple countries. So in 2016, countries uh, countries put the case on China in the UN clause, according to UN clause, that is United Nation clause on oceans. And their Philippines won the case on the Spratly and Paracel Islands, but the claims were rejected by China by saying that China has a historical linkage on that island according to Chinese historical records. So this was the major issue for the people of Philippines and the government of Philippines. Also talking like China is taking multiple actions in the South China Sea to put its claim on the high records. As of China is building the artificial islands in the South China Sea to extend its exclusive economic zone, so that it can claim the 9 dash line in a very formal way. Also, it is doing militarization in the South China Sea, and Coast Guard ships are also being active in that region and stopping the other countries' ships. As of last year, China's Coast Guard ships have had a conflict with the Philippines Coast Guard ships, and there was a huge conflict between both the countries' Coast Guard ships. And talking about the other countries, like Vietnam also claims on Paracel and Spratly Islands, because Philippines tells that it has a linkage of between 17th century to 18th century linkage. And also Malaysia and Brunei claims that it has a its exclusive economic zone is under China's 9 dash line, and which overlaps. So China has a very aggressive steps taking China is taking very aggressive steps in the South China Sea, which creates a problem for multiple countries. So the important countries in the world like US, uh, India, and European Union are taking some steps in the South China Sea to protect this claims of multiple countries against China. As of US has taken steps like uh, US do military exercise in the South China Sea, and also European Union also does the same. And US also has militarized Taiwan and Philippines and put its missile systems and in the Philippines and Taiwan's region. And last year India has also started the same thing, like exercising with the Philippines Navy. It was the first time in the history that India has also participated in a military exercise in South China Sea, so that India can put pressure on China in the South China Sea. And countries are taking steps, but the solution, I think, there is, like, talking in the diplomacy, and also, like, strengthen India can strengthen ASEAN India ties, so that it will be beneficial for India as well as that all the countries in the ASEANs. Also, uh, there should be free navigation alliance with the US EU for open maritime operations. And India can counter China's string of pearls through South China Sea. And I think so. That's all. Solutions should be there. And it's. I think. I think I'm done. And okay. Thank you.